us. Love's never gone so fast, just like that.
Well, damn, man. So from like across the world, pretty much.
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Good. Now, like, it's better, but it's a 14 hours jet lag.
Are you still
You
tired?
Let's say it comes in waves, man. I can't really sleep. But as I'm here also, it's the first time for me in the US.
Yeah.
And I just realized that, here also weed is legal. So I use that to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
Helps me big time.
So wait, obviously you like to smoke weed, but back there, I'm assuming where do you stay mainly? Thailand?
So I stay, I don't know, is it okay with the mic like this or should I sit more?
So you can sit a little closer, yeah. And just adjust it.
Yeah, so in Thailand, they just recently started to legalize weed, kind of. And they have been the first Asian country to make it medical prescribed. So I actually had a medical prescription license already since a while over there. I mean, I did never admit to this ever. I never said this before that I smoke weed, bro.
Really?
No.
I feel like, wait, so you, even on your socials, you never showed that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Never said it ever anywhere that I would smoke. Yeah.
I think it's pretty common. I think it's a lot more common, I think. And now I think it's really a lot more acceptable, I used to smoke a lot more. I stopped. I tend to get bad anxiety if I smoke too much, man.
Yeah.
You ever get anxiety from smoking too much?
Yeah, for me, let's say it helps me with. I'm doing it in the evening if I do for sleep.
Go to sleep, yeah.
Mostly sleep, or also when you answer DMs and comments and stuff, and there's some
Just
internet
in the zone.
trolls.
In the
You
zone.
are just in the zone and you are more calm, bro. Otherwise, I get too high temper with these. It's online, right? They say some stupid shit, and then you just be quite easy to
React. Get a react.
But you are more calm when you.
Well, how
smoke.
long have you been doing social media?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was watching you also since ages, and I've been also doing it now since, I don't know, man. It's like 6 years now for me. 6, yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it now?
12, 13 years.
Yeah, I remember when I started, I've watched your stuff already.
That's dope, man. That's cool. So when did you really start to see success on social media for you?
For me, it was like this. I was always kind of small, and I was doing it next to my normal job. And
what was a normal job at the time?
so I'm a technical draftsman. It's like an architect. I would plan these windows and doors. If you make a new building, and all these doors and windows and stuff that you do, I would plan this on a computer, a bit like an architect.
Yeah.
Then I made some further educations, blah, blah, blah. Ultimately, I just worked in a factory, bro, as my last job, like in a microchip factory.
Before you started doing fitness stuff.
Before I started to do fitness stuff for money, so I do it for a living.
Yeah.
Right. So I was always doing postings on IG and all this stuff because let's say back in the days I knew I've seen these guys back in the days. It was like Tom Coleman and like Jeremy Bondia and Sadiq Hasovic. These guys been like the top like dogs in terms of physique. Right. C's actually kind of just passed away by that time.
Yeah.
There was like 2 years he was kind of like gone by then, and then the new shredded aesthetics era came in. That's when I was coming on with Matt Ogus and all this stuff, legend of aesthetics.
Oh wow, yeah, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, this was when I was there, kind of like coming up. And my big success I had when I then posted this Alien Games video at one point, and it went viral.
Yeah.
There was one video that kind of clicked, that went viral, and that got me 250K. And from there I kind of like managed, because people also believe that I'm just there because of Alien Games. And that's all me. That's all Joe it is, He can do nothing but this fucking weird move.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that like the rippling effect? Is some sort of, it's not a disease. It's like some sort of condition, right?
They call it rippling muscle disease, though, as far as I know. Yeah. But technically, it's a cramp. It's a cramp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
But not everyone can do that.
No.
Yeah. When did you realize you could do that? You just cramp. You cramped.
I sit on a toilet seat, and I grab for the toilet paper, and then it's rippling like this. The most odd story here.
But it's so what made you think, oh, this will do good? Just because the visual of it?
Actually, I can be honest. Like I saw it before from this guy Uzoma Obilor. Actually.
Okay.
Like just a week before me, he already did this. And then I saw one video of him. And so I knew like, oh, wow, there would be some kind of movement possible there, right?
Yeah.
And then as I experienced it more and more to happen, and I thought, that's how he does it. You tense it up, you let the fibers, let's get shortened, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? And you squeeze it, and then you stretch it out, and it cannot extend as quickly.
Yeah.
So it starts to ripple in this way.
Yeah.
But you would also see in every other muscle, you see how the biceps switches there as well?
Yeah.
Like it does it everywhere, kind of. Like my muscles kind of just, you see my quad here?
Yeah.
Why would it?
You just have that disease, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's nothing bad to the disease, no? Maybe you cramp more?
Let's be honest, the muscle is also, the heart is also a muscle.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest
Oh,
concern
that's
always.
scary.
It's like, what if I have such a bad cramp that my heart gets a cramp? I don't
It's called
know.
a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
That's
good.
it.
It's not good.
That was, that makes me scared. That's why I'm also staying away from bodybuilding competitions too much.
Yeah.
Because I would take all these diuretics.
Yeah.
And if I just stop eating salt and drink a lot, and then I stop drinking as well, and you would pee everything out, and then you take a diuretic as well on top, and then you pee even more sodium out. I cannot exist, kind of. I cannot even walk anymore really good.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's then scary is like, oh yeah, you have this already, and then you dehydrate yourself more. Maybe your heart gonna give up at one point.
Yeah, that's scary as fuck. And that's not necessarily through dehydration, but like even just the fitness industry in general. A lot of people are kind of, going out. I remember back, I think when Rich Piana, you remember Rich Piana?
Yeah, I mean, Rich was also one of these guys who was like one of the first in the industry who was very outspoken and cool, actually, really cool.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys who really started doing YouTube because he had like some production kind of like team helping him, and then I think he leveraged like the understanding of how to do it, and then he was one of the first guys to really go hard on YouTube in the fitness industry, like way back in the day.
And also really like honest guy, right, with his supplements, like
Straight
real
up, yeah.
food and no BS.
And he would tell the truth, yeah. I remember when he went, that's when I started getting really worried. I was like, oh shit, this is like, because I would see him every day. I would see him all the time training at the Gold's Gym over here.
You mean you see him in person?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would see him all the time because we would train at the same gym. So I would see him all the time, and then like, one day you're like, oh, this shit happened. And then I remember I was like, damn, I don't, thinking like I don't want to end up, obviously, there's always more to that story, and like I don't know all the details of it and the extent of it. But with you, man, like as far as, I don't know, how much have you ever talked about gear usage? Have you ever talked about that stuff on any platforms?
Kind a bit, just like touched on it. Yeah, I try to be transparent as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because let's say ultimately now as you get older and I get older, it's now I turn 30, and it's the first time when you realize like, oh my God, time's really passing.
We talked about that. When you came in the zoo, I was like, oh, fuck.
You really age. When you are still in your 20s, you're like, I can fuck around, I can play, man.
Yeah.
Life is like a game. And then now you're 30. Maybe it's not so much a game. If you now don't get serious, what are you going to do with 40? You're still going to play around?
Bro, I feel that. That's the first thing we talked about when you pulled up the zoo. And I was like, really? I just turned 34. So I'm like, oh, this is like this one more year, and then you're halfway to 40, dude. That's it. You're pretty much dead at that. No, I'm kidding. But it's okay. So with your stuff, like, have you ever, I don't know how comfortable you are talking about it, but have you ever done more or less? Like, to
be honest, I did all kinds of crazy shit, let's say, in the past and stuff.
Yeah.
I've tried different dosages. Like the highest kind of test that I ever ran was 750.
Yeah.
750, and like I did never use one single compound more than 600 milligrams, or like 700 milligrams 750 test. And then make the craziest cycle that I probably did was that stupid coach back in the days also who put me on 100 milligrams of prop and 100 milligrams of tren every day. So that adds up like 700. Yeah.
Damn.
That was a sick cycle, man. Yeah, I was 105 kg in start of diet. It went down to like 102, just 3 kg. And then I didn't even need to do cardio. I was this one guy who was just getting more saucy and more ripped. Weight stays the same, and just getting more lean and dry by the day.
Fuck. Have you ever tried any like growth or insulin or anything like that?
Yeah. I tried also, like, let's say people would tell you like growth is so good. It's so good, man. Okay, obviously I need to try, right?
Insulin, I was always so afraid of, man.
Yeah, I tried a few times with insulin, but as you also know, I'm kind of low body fat, and I diet always kind of, or like halfway through. And insulin, if you eat a lot, it's maybe okay to do. But for me, I try to do it. Let's say I take 5 IUs pre-workout, and then I try to do a bit here with like sugar drink and stuff. Then you do 2-3 too many sets, and you forget to drink on your intra-workout, and you're really like hyper, and you just tripping balls, and it's like
tired.
Yeah, really like close calls, like 2. So
That's
said,
scary.
Fuck
That's
it.
scary.
Don't do it.
Yeah, that's like a whole different like level, because it's you can actually just overdo it really easily because the dosing is so small.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's scary. Anyway, so getting into social media, it has like, because you saw people like me doing it, right? Then you start to do it. Did it change your perspective when you started like actually doing it? Because like obviously, you're working in the factory. You're saying you wanted to start doing it. Did you think it was going to be what you thought it was going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like once you started to have success in it and be in it, was it better? Or was it worse? Like,
let's say it's like this journey where you kind of like you grow into it. Like you probably also grew into this, like the community, the gym, zoo, and then doing YouTube and all these things. So you kind of like grow into this kind of job.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really, I knew like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Or I knew I looked good. I could make 1 million followers with my account, but I don't have this reach yet. And I also want to be a fitness influencer. Ultimately, when you are there, you realize you are self-employed, kind of, but you have to also work all the time.
All the time, yeah.
It's people don't understand creating a lot of content that you can consume is really nice, but it takes time and effort and dedication. Also on a daily basis to wake up, let's say do cardio, take videos for your audience, edit and cut this all together. So it maybe is more overwhelming. It looks probably from everyone outside that sees us online, they're like, these guys have the nicest life.
Yeah.
They do fuck all day. They just go to the gym, eat some good food, hang out with people.
It's funny how that's because I've definitely, I've gotten messages over the years that are like, oh, you don't know. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, but that's like with everything, right? Like people just see it for what it is. They don't necessarily see the behind the scenes of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a common thing that people aren't going to know what's really going on unless like they're in it and they're a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyways, let's talk a little bit about Thailand, living in Thailand. Why did you decide to go there?
So I didn't really mainly decide to go. It more fell into my feet. It's been like a mate that I met when I started social media. He's in Switzerland. And so I went there to meet him, to take content. And then his dad was a pilot, and they had all kinds of like free kind of flights always. And he said, Thailand is really good for content. Let's go there for like a 3-month trip. Yeah. And let's do some content. It's have you been?
Yeah. Yeah, I went once.
Nice.
Fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah. It depends on where you go. You can also go to fucked up places. But anyways, so then went. Many things in Thailand are a bit crazy, but it's just a different crazy than the crazy we have here in the US, bro.
Yeah.
Like here, also many things are really crazy and weird. So over there is just different. It's maybe Asian weirdness.
yeah. Thailand.
So then went with this guy to Thailand the first time. And as we are doing this kind of social media business on content, mostly it's about content. So every day comes down to how much work you can get done. How much content can you do? Do you spend 3-4 days in a week not doing anything and then just record 1-2 days and that's good for you? Or you do content on a daily basis? And I found it is the easiest for me over there to do everything that I need to do or want to do without much distractions. Had a big gym.
Why do you think there's less distractions?
Wasn't too much for me personally to do that, which I desired to do. I wanted to become this guy, right? The social media influencer that I can make a real good living from this. Yeah. So I knew I need to make content and keep pushing. So what I need to do, go gym, look crazy, take videos, upload this, and then support your community. So that's all I kind of then did, and then I just got stuck there somehow. And next thing is COVID hit. Right?
And then you were really stuck there.
Then COVID came along, and then there was like, no point now to go back to Germany.
Yeah.
No point to go here. Everywhere is locked down. Because the truth is, over there, it was really everywhere else in the world was locked down. Over there was nothing yet. Nothing yet. And then when the world started to reopen up everywhere else, that's when they then had like 3-4 tough months. But I personally managed to have no lockdown. I didn't have a lockdown ever.
Did you get the vax?
I got the vaccine.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Even 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and also, bro, you know how it is. This is the same like you go to a party.
You were worried about your heart?
And you are with the wrong people. All of a sudden, you might do something on this party that you don't want to do because there's these people that are like, you should do it.
Dude, fuck.
So I'm in
Damn,
this
dude.
place also. I was in this place. We don't need to say where it is exactly, but I was there and my friends say like, we can get it. You should get it, man. And I'm like,
You got
yeah,
peer pressured into the vax?
Yeah, kind of.
Is that what you're saying? I don't like, fuck no.
Yeah.
Whatever. It is what it is.
When I think about it later on, I'm like, what did I do, man? But, oh my God, this turns into weird conspiracy theories because I did blood cleaning twice after all this. I did a plasmapheresis with taking out heavy metals and all that stuff. Oh man, yeah, I did all this. I don't know, this is too controversial probably to say this.
Wait, no, say it.
I went to the doctor and I did my blood work again because I take my blood work all the time. And then I show it to the doctor and we kind of see these particles and I'm like, what is this? And then they all
No way, dude.
This is
Shut the fuck up.
This is from this. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I show it to another of my friends and there's all kind of hidden websites that you can't get to, but it's like the dark media kind of web. And there's even more conspiracies.
This is crazy as fuck because I know you're the kind of guy who for sure you got your blood work all the time. And then you're telling me you got the thing and then you got your blood work and then it was fucking crazy.
And this guy's also big into it. So he's like, you need to do a plasmapheresis now. So they poke like a fucking needle into your arm here, which is like a pen, like thick like this, bro. It's unbelievable thick needle. And they take all your blood out, put it into this machine, and then clean it and bring it back. So we did this with the heavy metal cleaning and all this stuff, which supposedly cleaned my blood. I did a D-dimer test and all this. I don't know if you know what it is. It's like this determines like the clotting of your arteries and stuff, like D-dimer. And like my D-dimer was this, and then after all this, it was that. And then, I did
So did it improve after you got that?
I did it, twice. I did it in 6-month period, like one time and then the second time. Also expensive as fuck, man. Like, it's no fun, man. I was so shocked and the doctor was like, you need to do it, man, if you want to like survive after you took these shots, bro.
No way.
You need to do this now. Yeah, this was like that actually.
Oh, shit.
Because I don't know if the nurse did something weird because when she took this in Thailand, obviously.
Yeah.
So when she then took out the blood, and then it's like there was some like a white thing in there, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then they may be like, maybe cholesterol, and I'm like, what I have so like, what the fuck is this? Then I show this to my friend. He's conspiracy. He shows me all these websites where it's like, since they do this to people, so and so many they found this in athletes and stuff, and that's a weird like reason why people they die. They have these white blood clots, tons of them in their blood everywhere. And so they're like, this is what you maybe have. We go to this other doctor and make further testing. And then I make further testing and he's like, not white. It was not white anymore. There was no white thing. It was probably air, just like the nurse didn't do it right. But he then said, there's these black particles. This is the heavy metal that you have in your blood.
Dude, that whole thing just trips me out.
Yeah,
that was such a crazy time, man. Like an actual crazy time.
So ultimately what I think about this right now, like after all, I'm like, that was it and is some kind of a flu. And that's what it is. And people overreacted maybe, and whatever this like, people maybe saw opportunities also for making
money. Yeah.
And you know that there's maybe bigger people over us. They can control much more things in different ways. And they did let this happen, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think there was kind of an overreaction to this.
Yeah, I agree, man. For sure. I mean, I kept my gym open during the time. It was just the whole thing that like when you started asking questions, there wasn't much like congruency with all of the things that they were doing, like where like the plane, it's okay for planes to be here. But we don't got to get into it because we talked about it. I've talked about it tons of times before, but I just remember thinking like, because I was getting so attacked by like the health services here, like the public health services. And then you talk to them about like, well, what about the planes? And they're like, well, we don't care about the planes. That's not our jurisdiction because it's federal. And I just remember there was so much like, it matters here, but it doesn't matter there, but it matters here, but it don't matter here. And that's when I was like, clearly is like, you guys don't really give a fuck. It's just kind of control. So anyways, long story short, that was a fucking insane time. But so for you and for content wise, you were able to like get as much done as you could in Thailand. And then you're saying at some point like it was like reverse lockdown, where it was like once it was open, then it was locked. And
Yeah,
then did you
because then
leave?
all of a sudden somehow they had this outbreak over there in Thailand, and then they've been kind of like tough on it. And also the rollout of these vaccines has been just slow and stuff.
Yeah.
So they then locked down. But also I was in Dubai by the time, and so I was kind of always managing. It was good. In this
So talk about
extent.
Dubai a little bit. Like I noticed a lot of fitness guys, they end up over there, then they end up back here eventually. Like Larry was over there and he's back here. I think are you based now staying in Thailand?
Dubai and Thailand.
So back and forth.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your home?
Hard to say. Both feels like home.
Yeah. Not here.
Not. I've just been here for 1.5 weeks now. I can't tell yet. But people they tell me all. If let's say also it's like this. If you look at everyone that got really successful in their life, they all say like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He went to the US. That's
Yeah.
what you need to do, Joe. And everyone looks at me already like you came this far in your life without having been to the US yet. And I'm like, what do you mean? I think these days with TikTok and stuff, there's people, maybe this guy sits there in, I don't know, somewhere in Russia, has like 20 million followers and has never left his city.
Yeah,
it's
definitely different now. I mean, you could have the success anywhere. I think for sure there's like, I think here, right, there is a lot of opportunity because everyone comes here because they think that's where you have to go. So like you can make the connections or find the networking. But at the same time too, the internet is it's so vast now that I feel like you can do it technically anywhere. I mean, you've seen so much success out of Thailand, out of Dubai.
Yeah. That probably one big factor that plays into all this is the algorithm and the location where you are at while you do your content and which language you are doing. Because, for example, TikTok and in Thailand, it's not really that beneficial for me as an English-speaking creator because everywhere where you are, it always pushes the local stuff as well.
Yeah.
So the algorithm is also a big factor that I found personally. Dubai is not even the nicest for getting a lot of reach somehow. I don't know, personal experience. So I always felt like get good reach over there in Asia.
You get better reach in Asia, you think?
I felt so,
than Dubai?
Yeah.
What about compared to here?
We will find out in a bit because always after 2 weeks when you swap your location, Instagram will detect where you are now.
Your IP, yeah.
And Snapchat, let's say all this year picks up, I think is the most views you can make here probably.
Yeah. So would you ever make the move out here?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
That's why you're out here trying to
So
figure
now
out.
I'm here, yeah, exactly. Try to experience the US and everyone's kind of welcoming me, happy to see me. Like,
Yeah.
it's a blast. It's really cool also to meet everyone and finally, like
Yeah.
like I've been following and watching your stuff since so many years and now finally have the opportunity to meet all these people that don't come to Dubai and maybe Thailand. No one comes to fucking Thailand.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
And so when I'm in Dubai, then I have the opportunity to network a bit more, but obviously not as good as it is here in the US.
Yeah. What else are you doing here that like you've kind of always wanted to do here that you're able to do now that you're here? Like, what do you like about?
I think I'm really big now into these big cars, bro. It's like just this V8 sound stuff.
That's why the first thing you were talking about my truck when you came in. You're like, oh, is a V8 in this thing?
Yeah, because in Thailand also it's very difficult. There's no really V8. V8 is for super rich people, bro. If you have a V6, you're already really good. Yeah, all these trucks are diesel or like 2-liter engines nowadays with the emissions and stuff. I don't know. The tax over there is so insane. So you have a GLC 43 that I have. It's still 150K.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make fun to buy these sick cars except you are extremely wealthy. So
Yeah.
now I come to the US and I'm just here and everywhere is a fucking truck with V8, big engines and this big block and stuff. That's exciting for me, yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's cool. Anything else you're really passionate about? So obviously you like cars.
Cars, and then obviously I want to see all these gyms. I've seen Gold's Gym Venice in movies and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And now I have the opportunity to go there, see this, experience it, meet people and all this and get confronted with it. It's really cool, yeah.
Yeah. You went to Gold's recently, yeah? With
Yep.
Mike?
Yep, with Mike.
You're training. Did you like it? Was it what you thought it was going to be?
I feel like I'm a bit spoiled because I went to Dubai a lot also.
Yeah.
And I had also like really good friends. They kind of but spoiled me. And ultimately what I say is maybe in movies, everything seems to be a bit more fancy.
yeah.
Just like everything,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
You maybe have that is a bit more gloss and glamour around all this.
Dude, at one point, too, that Gold's Venice was like so incredible in like 2017, 2016, 2015. And then once, like, I don't know what started to happen, like with influencers, they kind of just didn't want people in there as much. Like didn't like the cameras. And then during COVID, it just got all spread out and they moved everything around. And I think some people like it, but I think a lot of people like it lost its like, I don't know, like they lost its kind of its flair.
I cannot tell you, I haven't been there, but you experienced it many years, yeah. So you think before it was better than now?
Oh yeah. 2015, 2016 was like incredible, bro.
See, there's probably now someone like Arnie can say 1978 was
yeah.
sick year. Like,
That's probably the best year. I mean, that's like, unparalleled. But like before everything got like, because you went there, right? And it's like all kind of spread out.
yeah.
There was at one point it was like a little bit more tight knit, and it just felt more. I don't know. Everything felt closer.
For me, a big thing is a good vibe in the gym.
Yeah.
I think you did it also well with Zoo, that everything is like in this one area.
Yeah.
I like high ceilings. That's why also your gym is really nice.
Yeah.
I don't like when it's cringed together. And then it has to be just also big enough that you don't feel like there's too crowded in there.
Yeah, that you're on top of.
And so you have all these factors. And I think Gold's Gym had this also at one point perfectly matched.
Yeah.
With these different areas that they have spreads out. You don't feel if it's busy.
Yeah. No, I think, man, the gym's all about the vibe. It's all about the people in there, the music. It's all about like the community for sure. That's the best part. So let me ask you a question about like fitness shit, not like, diet and stuff like that. But what do you think the biggest misconception would be that people have about you in the fitness industry? All right, guys, quick interruption. One of our sponsors, Green Chef. Check this out. Really, really easy meal prep. They literally send you everything you need for your meals to be like all the way done. Like instead of like a fully packaged, already ready meal, this is a little bit more useful because it allows you to like make the meals a little bit more fresh because you get all the ingredients, you cook it yourself, you're done. But everything is really simple because it's super convenient, super easy because it's all coming just ready for you. You don't have to go grocery shopping. You don't got to pick out certain items or ingredients. It's all just prepared for you based on what you select. There's tons of variety. You could do paleo, vegetarian, vegan, everything you could think of. Just clean, classic, everything to get the kind of meals that you want based on your goals. Personally, I like it because it allows me to just like not have to think about going and buying a bunch of different groceries and making sure I'm getting the right things for my meals. So give it a shot. greenchef.com/RAWTALK60 and put in code RAWTALK60 to get 60% off plus free shipping right now today. Again, that's greenchef.com/RAWTALK60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Let's get back into this podcast. So maybe like comments or things you see.
Let's say people would think I'm always so super shredded. And it's actually, I'm always on and off, like shredded, super shredded, not that shredded. I try to stay kind of lean, but then also have times where I take old content, put it in. I would have 2-3 weeks where I look more soft, just don't really take new content. And also the next problem that people think I take a lot more than I actually take.
Gear.
Yeah. Because they also believe that you can only look ripped like this if you take all these extra supplements. And I really experienced it just again now in March. I did another show.
Yeah.
Tried to get a pro card and I used a bit of Tren. Did also not mention this before. Just 75 milligrams of Tren.
How many times a week?
No, 75 per week.
Per week?
Yeah.
On top of
250 tests, what I did there.
Low dose, yeah.
So I did 250 tests, I did 75 Tren, and then I did 100 Primo also. I like Primo a lot, but also only the minimum effective dose I always believe is the best. For example, you have kids, they just start to work out and then they take like 2 cc's of test a week while you can take maybe 0.5 and it gives you the same effects.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's just because where you're getting your information from. I think I think nowadays people are realizing like less could be more, but I remember when I first started, it was just like you take 500 of this or that.
There's a German approach where they say a lot helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's also an approach in Germany, literally, bro. In Germany, I tell you, the dosages are fucking crazy what these guys take.
Yeah,
you can compare to these Russian guys and stuff, also just like hardcore and a lot helps a lot. That's literally how they...
But it's just not necessary. For sure not. And I think there's definitely a misconception where like, but I also think it's kind of shifting where like younger guys know that like they don't have to do as much. At least I hope so. Because that's the thing is like it's it's a very serious decision that like I don't think people really understand.
That is what I feel like is also again the problem with the fitness industry in these days is that it's too well accepted. It's too easy to say like, yeah, why not? I would take something. Like, why should I not take something?
Yeah.
You, everyone takes something. These guys online take something. This is the same, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe lately that festival, parties and drugs are really big. That all these kiddies, they go to all these festivals and they all take all these I don't know if we can mention these substances.
Yeah,
here.
Molly,
and
ecstasy, all that.
And they don't realize that this is very strong chemistry.
Yeah.
And they go to these fucking festivals and they fry their brain.
Yeah. I just think it's Jacob. You don't do that anymore.
No, and so as you also have all your friends, they go and they do it, and so like it's not even a big thing anymore to go and take Molly, for example. Is like it's not a big thing. We all go and we all do it.
Yeah.
So same with now with fitness. It's like we all these guys all take something. It's not a big deal to take something. By 5 years ago or something, it was less accepted, or so you had to hide it. You know, it was not that open.
Yeah, it definitely complicates things because it makes you, just because everyone's either now talking about it or like okaying it because like everyone's doing it. It definitely makes more people think, well, maybe I'll try it. I think the important thing, at least if we're talking about the recreational stuff, it's like, yo, you do that stuff too much, it's gonna fuck you up. Same thing with the gear. You do too much of that shit, it's gonna fuck you up. That's the thing that I think needs to be taught, is like moderation. And people have talked about moderation forever, but it just sounds lame. So it's like, I expect someone to make their own mistakes with it. But at the end of the day, like that's something you really have to understand. Like all this stuff, whether we're talking about recreational drugs, and specifically like if we're talking about ecstasy and Molly, like that stuff, you can't sustain doing that a lot. Like it's gonna fry your brain. It's gonna fuck you up. Like I don't know how many people I know who have like abused that stuff for like too long, and they're just fucking whacked out people. Like they're not normal anymore.
Naja, but also what I now realize, but this is actually really a thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like I'm here in the US now, and I didn't know that here. So they would put, I don't know, red 50, like they do some stuff. They put stuff in the food that is maybe not so good for you. I don't know, because we're in Germany, it's all like very strict. You cannot put this, no artificial sweetener, no artificial colors and all these things that they do. And here it's like not as restricted with these things. Bro. So like I watched this guy, Paul Saladino, the carnivore dude now, and like he's just talking, basically if you rub your butt with toilet paper, this is have estrogen inside and like, hey man, can I just live a normal, halfway decent life? Eat something without worrying that I will get poisoned? Or
yeah, there is definitely a line. Like there's so much information now that it's like can you do everything right? Because that's the thing. I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, though, it's like for everyone to decide their own individual journey, right? I mean, it's just you could just urge people to try to understand as much as they can, but at the same time, like, do you and I don't want to live a life where like I have to look at every little fucking thing and make sure it's right every single time. I'd like to try to get some sort of general gauge on what I'm doing and like, learn more and more. But if every time I ate, I was like, does it have this? Does it have that? It's like, it's also going to drive you a little crazy.
That's for me, but also for vegan stuff, for example, like it's maybe, that's why I'm very tolerant. You can do what you want, but then also don't judge me. And if you don't want to eat meat, whatever, like it's all cool. You can also be a tree if you want. I don't give a fuck.
But like, why do you think, okay, let's talk about that. Why do you think we've gotten to this point, like in the world, just in general, where everyone wants everyone to just accept and understand everyone else? And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to accept people. I'm not saying you're not supposed to understand, but it's like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, if you don't, it's like, you're an enemy. And it's like, it's just also kind of unrealistic to just be like, yo, you should just believe what I believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen this lately here in the US a lot with, I don't even want to mention this too much because it's very controversial. And I'm just like, listen, guys, humans in general, man, maybe we are a bit stupid sometimes and we need rules and regulations. Otherwise, we have kind of anarchy going on. And also, if you cannot be everything you want eventually, like because just you feel like this and all this stuff. Maybe, this is very controversial for me also. I'm too old school with this shit, but I'm German. It's like I got raised in this way. Like, this is a very fine line. Say, no, this is not okay, or yes, you can just do it. I have to be okay with you, right? I have to be okay with you, how you feel, how you look, how you behave, what is your opinion. Now, everything has to be okay. Even though maybe it's just,
I get it. So it's like not everything's for everyone, right? And I think that the issues are arising now where, whether someone wants to be this or do that or whatever, it's fine, right? But the difference is now when someone says this, this, and this, but then they want to look at you and say, you have to understand everything about this and then understand me. Because that's when it gets complicated. When it's like, I would never expect another human, like you have to understand me. You need to understand and expect like this. And it's like, it's just, we're all just trying to figure this shit out, right? It's like I'm trying to figure out a ton of shit about myself. I'm trying to work through all my fucking problems. Like there's so much shit I'm trying to like get through in my own life that damn, I can't account for everything and everyone. Like I'm definitely tolerant. I'm like, yo, you guys make your decisions, but like if it's where you're looking at everyone else like trying to force their decision down your throat, it's like that's when it becomes like people are like, what's happening? You know?
That's why, let's say, if we are in the same, if everyone lives private and we never meet each other, this is one thing. But we live in a society, and that's what is like a society, community where we kind of still have to deal with each other and like interact with each other, and therefore some kind of rules and regulations just need to be in order, and that's why otherwise we can't just be communicating with each other or like handling each other's situation. You understand? I don't know how to say it in English, man.
Say it in German. Yeah, you can translate it.
Bullshit. That you kind of like in a society. It's I can respect that we have to understand each other and we have to find a middle way. That's actually what the society, I believe, kind of means. We have to find a way that everyone can be kind of okay with
a
this.
middle ground,
a middle ground, and that's where just hardcore people, they say no middle ground because that's what I say is real.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why this started to just become a really big problem, I believe, lately, because now people keep attacking each other for way too much. Why you can also just say like, why you give a fuck? Just mind your own business.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's the internet because the internet's the information age and like everything is out there and everything is seen and things go viral and you disagree or you agree. And then it's like, so then people also use all this stuff to their advantage to get views, to get clicked, whatever. So it's like, it becomes a nasty cycle, man.
People like drama. We know that, man. People just fucking love drama.
You're telling me.
And this is everything is very new for me here also in the US, I'm so not used to these things, for example. Also, I'm not used to kind of the waiter talks with me a lot and all this stuff in a restaurant and all this. I'm just not used to like having people like from the US that are more open and outspoken. Or I just walk on the side of the road and there's this guy and he just starts maybe screaming at me whatsoever, I don't know. Maybe he's drunk or on drugs or something. And
where were you in Venice?
Yeah, just
probably on drugs.
Yeah, and then just some guys on a skateboard comes by, then stops and starts like singing and woo at me and stuff, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
I hope you got that on camera.
No, I don't have.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things for me that is just not normal. I don't know if I can touch on to this, but like I should. But this also this tipping culture here, bro. This is strange, very strange for me, bro.
Yeah.
Because for example, I order Uber Eats. And so I order this food from this restaurant, and then the price is like this, and then I pay, and then it says add a tip for your Uber driver. But isn't a tip something that I give you when you give me a good service? You know what I mean? So I should now I tip you. So anyways, I feel like I'm an asshole if I don't tip.
I know, bro. They even have tips for some reason. I've seen this too. This was going on around the internet. Tipping on like a automated service where like there's not even someone there. I've been in this new shopping mall where I order food on the display and then I can pick it up from these restaurants, and there it asks me and it shows me the minimum thing is like 15%. And so again, like where is the interaction between me and you that I now I feel like, yeah, that's what you guys say. Yeah, but the restaurants, all these workers, they get paid so less, and if they don't get the tips, then they cannot survive. Yeah. It's like, then just fucking pay them more.
Yeah, but then also it's like now if I'm in the restaurant and the waiter comes and he's like, hey man, how are you today? How's your day going? And I'm like, why are you so friendly? You know what I mean? And then I have this feeling like he's probably just friendly because maybe he wants me to give a good tip. I'm also crazy probably in this extent, but it's just so new for me. I'm like, okay, I see this display. I see Starbucks also. They say like here, yeah, okay, what is your name? Okay, Joe. So the display will ask you a question, and then you can pay.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no question. This is a tip. So, okay, I tip $1, okay. But then, like, if I don't tip, you also, you see this straight up. And it kind of makes me feel bad as a human being.
Spit your fucking coffee.
This is strange for me, bro. I swear, just put a service charge,
Yeah.
Just say in general, there's 15% in these restaurants. This restaurant charge 10% service charge.
Some places do that. It's very rare. Very rare. But some places do have service charges.
Or like if you have service charge, right? And I still feel like you did a good service for me, I'm still going to tip you. It's not like that. It's not like I only tip. But if I feel forced into it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's different. It's like that's not what a tip is. A tip should be like, oh, you went above and beyond, did a great job. You should get more money because you earned it.
Exactly.
Versus like those automated things that just give us more money.
Yeah, or also like the Uber driver. So now I'm ordering, and then it says, okay, add the 15% tip from your order. Let's say I order for $50. Then I have like $7.50
And it's like,
tip.
yo, what if that guy doesn't even show up on time?
So that's what I mean. So how do I know he will drive good? So I give him the tip before I even seen how he drove. There must be a different service that it's like it asked me for this tip after he arrived, gave me the like everything went well.
What I normally do is I remove the tip and I just give him cash in person.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
exact. That's good.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like I'm just thinking. Technically, you get already paid, or at least I assume you get paid.
Yeah,
Or,
I
but
guess
probably is it so little that if you don't get the tip, then it's just not good for you. So that's why I'm like, it's a bit of a fucked up system.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, dude,
employers give a bit more money, so these people they don't need to rely on the tips. But because I think this is more about what is it called? One raven doesn't spit out another raven's eye. There's a saying like this in Germany, you know. One bird won't make another one blind, because for them it works really good, and for this guy it works really good. So a lot of people benefiting maybe good enough from this. That's why they don't change it.
Yeah, I don't know. What other things here do you think are super like different than from where you are? That like stand out? Because I can tell that stands out to you.
As I just been in LA, it's probably also difficult for me to tell, right? There's so many, the US is so big.
Yeah.
And everyone told me that other cities and parts of the US are just different culture.
Yeah.
But what sticks out the most is definitely the more open, the openish, people being more open, just like more outspoken, talk with you more, engage with you more.
Yeah.
You know, and in Dubai, you know how it is in Dubai. Like,
Yeah.
also this, everyone is just like, yeah, have a mask
On their own thing.
not just, you know, I order my stuff from some waiter. They are just like, oh, okay, sir, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And here you have the guy works in McDonald's, and you try to order from my drive-through, and he just like, he's just pissed off his job, and he just doesn't even really reply to you, you know. And you are just like, I want to order a coffee, dude. Like, why are you now like talking with me so like weird? And you drive there and you see him, and he's kind of on drugs or something in his job. Like, and you know, like, I don't know. In Asia, it's same.
Are you in Venice at this McDonald's? I feel like you're still in Venice here.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to say where.
Dude, that's funny.
So this is just strange that also I would now experience people that are at their jobs that they maybe really don't like, and they show you as a customer. And that's very new to me, because, for example, in Dubai, even these guys, maybe some of them, they don't like their job. They will still be polite and respectful and just don't say anything really.
So okay, so then that's the question, right? Is like, do you think because I don't know, is there must be some sort of sense of entitlement here in the US that just doesn't exist over there, or just culturally is just completely different? Because that's the only explanation, right? Like if we're saying like in Dubai, people are like, regardless if maybe they don't like their job or not, they still show respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here it's like everyone's like better than everyone else, or they're like upset with something, so they show you. There is definitely just culturally different, and it's interesting for sure. And I wonder why it's gotten that way here, like probably more than ever. I swear to God, dude, I know it sounds crazy. I think it's the internet.
Oh yeah, 100%. The smartphone and the internet that opened up a whole new world for people to feel now like, I have all these rights and I want to claim them.
Yeah.
While in other countries, for example in Dubai, if you steal, maybe they chop your hand off.
Yeah.
That's why no one steals.
Yeah.
So if we would be so strict, maybe we have less crime here also.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm just thinking, maybe over there is hardcore, but how people live in peace and harmony together? So maybe people need rules.
Middle ground.
Middle ground, yeah.
Yeah.
Decency. But then we are here in the wild US, you know, wild and free. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Everyone is wild and free, and they want to also show this to everyone. I can do whatever the fuck I want, you know. Government, you cannot tell me anything. I don't need to fucking vax. I don't have to take a mask. I can my truck can be loud as fuck. I can, you know, like
Dude.
whatever I want, because this is the US.
Yeah, it's a little catch-22 because it's like we want it to be a certain way, but we also enjoy like all the shit being a different way. So it's like I said, I think we just find a little bit more of a middle ground, and I think it'd be great, man. But I don't know how the fuck we're ever gonna get there.
100%. I also believe so. There's some problems that need to get fixed here, and it would be an awesome society to live in. Like, is this also already an awesome society?
Right, right.
It is. You know, we have to be anyways thankful or grateful that we
100%.
are in these parts of this planet,
Yeah.
because there's so many other spots in this world where it's just much worse, and we are complaining about like we have water and can eat some food every day.
Yeah.
So
no,
that's
there's
already
no doubt, man. I'm grateful as fuck. Thank God. It's like at the same time we complain about it. It's like it is also really a big blessing.
Yeah, because we also want to make it somehow a bit better.
Yeah.
Right? Or like we see things, or like for me as a tourist that comes here the first time, and I'm 30 years old and I've never been here. I've seen it in fucking Spider-Man movie and stuff, right? That's why it's crazy for me, you know. I'm driving and then there's a fire truck passing by and I'm like, what the fuck? This fire truck looks like that? I've seen it in Spider-Man, but I haven't seen it in real life.
Your reaction is so funny, man. That's hilarious. I get it though. It's cool. I like talking to you about it because like you're like it's interesting to me your perspective because you literally grew up somewhere completely different. Like your whole life's different. So it's always just cool getting an outside perspective, especially from the places you came from that maybe were a little bit more strict. Because obviously there's downfalls to that sort of like nature as well, right? Like, what was it like the Germany thing growing up there?
You know, that's funny because I was thinking here is a bit like Berlin, let's say, in Germany, or like some big city in Germany with UK mix. That's what it feels for me here. Because now the weather was like, you had a spring weather in Germany.
Yeah.
Feels the same. Fresh, like also like in terms of like humidity, everything kind of similar. Like, yeah, cool. Nice. But in terms of how people are, is just, like I said, more wild and free here. Kind of, this is what you get.
People there are a little bit more like robotic, would you say?
Yeah, not even. I think people probably more robotic in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
In Germany, people are more just like...
Yeah, like more like strict also, you know, these German things. Like, but everywhere changed in the last five to 10 years, you know. I also, like, I ask myself, why is Germany even still... Why are we still Germany? What, you know, another country, they can say, our culture. Where is the German culture now? What is it, by the way? Is it an Oktoberfest? That's all, and then we dress up like some bitch, you know what I mean? Like,
what would you say it is?
Yeah, it got slaughtered somehow. It also got taken away because of every other, like people who migrated, they brought their culture into there. And again, now everything has to be accepted and has to be okay. So these cultures also got mixed. And some things that you might stand for, you are also not allowed to do anymore because this is not okay for this other culture.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just wondering, like, what is, because back in the days, you know, German quality was always like, yeah, really good quality, and like Germans, they are always on time, and like something positive. Yeah. And now I felt like, so why are we still this? What is the word called, like, what makes you shine in this extent? What are the great things about this country anymore? Because now I see also with this like war stuff that's going on, and people are getting influenced a lot through also these TV media and stuff. So that creates like more fear and conspiracy and like divide between people.
Yeah.
And then that's just somehow toxic, I believe. So in the last few years with this COVID stuff, it's just somehow I feel like more people are just more negative about everything.
In Germany. Yeah. Would you ever see yourself living there? Like fully?
When I'm old, maybe also again, yeah. But as I've been in these warm places, I like it warm. Yeah. I had winter and had to deal with this shit for like 25 years. And then, so since I've been now traveling and I decided to go where it's warm, it's much nicer for me.
Yeah.
How you find it though? Like, are you with the seasons? Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful here, man. It's the hardest thing is just like, you know, California at times could be like obviously so fucking incredible because the amount of stuff you can do. It's just like, it's got its downfalls like anything else. I would just honestly say less because I've been all over the world. I've spent a lot of time in Miami. I've traveled like Europe. And overall, like I would definitely say that this would be a great place to live. But, you know, at times it's just like, you know, if as a business owner and then sometimes just
too much on. But trust me, this is probably anywhere else in this world also. Like in Thailand, this is the same. Now as I'm here, I can think or see these benefits that I have over there. Why it's so epic? While when you are nonstop there, you are like, yeah, this is not so nice actually. You know, like same if you always here, you stop appreciating it.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fully appreciate it. I love it here. It's just sometimes it's way too fucking expensive. But yeah, overall, it's like, it's a good place because, again, for me, the thing that I enjoy the most about it is just the amount of people who come here, right? Like you're from a completely different part of the world, but you're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been that way. And since I've had the gym open for the last like 7-8 years, it's been that way. And I've seen so many people come through from all over the world because they want to visit LA. So the thing that I like the most about LA and California because of LA is it's the melting pot of everything, right?
I've seen that now. Like I didn't know that you have all these mountains.
Yeah.
There's a crazy variety of things that you can also do here in this area. You have sea, you have the ocean. You can, let's say, you can go skiing somewhere. You can go hiking. You can go with your car nicely. You have the beach. You have quiet. You have everything that you could imagine. Also, you have around the corner.
Yeah.
Or like within 1 or 2
here.
hour drive.
Everything's here. So off the topic of California and location stuff a little bit, I'm curious about like your progress on social media. When did it really start to pick up? And was there ever a time when you were like, yo, I don't want to keep doing this shit? Like, have you ever got burnt out on it?
Let's say it's easy to get burned out on it when you diet hard and you, I personally didn't really have a really good team of people, let's say, that helped me to create all this content. So I'm kind of this one-man army dude that has this vision, what he wants to do, but the people who helped me to create the content maybe don't have the greatest skill set to also just, let's say if you have like 8 million followers or whatever million, if you have 1 million followers, you're probably very critique in how you want your content to be. And then some people, they would take a picture and say, this is good enough. But maybe there's so much competition now out there, then it's just not good enough anymore. So I'm quite picky with the stuff. Even though my content maybe sometimes looks really low quality, there's always a lot of brain process behind all this.
I relate to that so heavily. Like that's been my biggest downfall on social, specifically Instagram, because I got to a point where like everything had to be like this viral thing, and it really puts you in a position where like you then start to hate everything else, even though it could be good content. You're just hyper focused on it being like this kind of like top tier level. And it actually hurts you because the platform itself, if you're just not posting enough, like you're fucked. Like it literally fucks your engagement. And you're not going to grow, etc. Right? So for the last like fucking 4 years, I've been just like, yo, I'm going to post more. And then I get in my head as soon as I start to post, I'm like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I've really dealt with that shit.
I feel you big time. Yeah. And this is something that people also out there, mostly they don't understand. They see a video, but they don't know what you see already when you're benching these 2 chicks left and right and all that. What you did, man, you did what you did on this rolling
the hoverboard. Yeah,
I
did everything, dude.
Squat in this, you did some super crazy shit. So I can imagine, you have this vision of that's how it's gonna look like. Yeah, and it just doesn't turn out this way, and then you are like, I don't want to put this out like.
Yeah, I also got to a point where like I did everything, like where I was like, okay, I don't even know what else to do now. And then you're like, shit, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Because I've kind of put myself in that position, like kind of unknowingly, obviously like it's working along the way. But then what I realize if I look back now, the thing that I should have done, and for the younger creators out there listening, I should have had more balance overall with my content where it wasn't like every single video was like something insane viral. And it was like, didn't have to be this outrageous thing where it's like, I could just post more photos, more basic things, not being so worried that I have to look fucking insane in every photo.
You mean like a movie star that just sits there on the couch like this and gets 500,000 likes and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel you because I also do these swipe videos and I'm so picky. So let's say you get 10 days good, but you had 100 videos already used up for these posts. And so you burn a lot of ammo doing this. And then you have a shitty picture and you're like, it's not even good enough. Like, why would I, like that right now algorithm in Instagram is also super fucked. Bro, like there's
my God.
There's these, let's say back in the days, you would post a shredded picture in the mirror selfie, and it just blows up. And now the most hardcore shredded pictures, they just don't work. But some simple reels, like with some, it's about attention, right? Now attention and whatever the algorithm features.
Yeah.
So it shifted and it changed. And I see also, you've seen it probably too, people, they don't understand it at all. And they just keep posting the stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it. But you also been really smart about, finding an idea, creating these viral bangers, which ultimately maybe burns you out because there's only so and so many viral bangers that you can do.
It burns you the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know, man.
Ultimately, you grew yourself up with this. You grew yourself to who you are right now. So ultimately it was good,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying like
about the consistency, right? That you can consistently keep up these postings. Would have been better if you, I feel you on this one also.
If I just had like a little more variation where I didn't think it had to be a 10 out of 10 every time. If I was just like okay with it being like a 5 out of 10 every
Yep.
once in a while, and just like having it in between,
Yep.
that would have given me a lot more peace of mind and just able to just kind of keep going without like worrying.
Also, if you stop with these platforms, they are so fast living. Like the next Joe Aesthetics dude is out there somewhere already, growing his page.
Doing this shit.
Yeah. There's someone.
That's it,
like
dude.
the next Bradley Martyn, he's already like, they are now 20 years old, these guys just, or like 16
All of
even
them.
just.
All of them.
There's so many new ones coming, and then now when you have luck, for example, like I see Lean Beef Patty, or there's a cleaning guy, the Anatoly, who is just cleaning around.
Yeah.
I think
It's crazy because I look at that and I'm like, it's the same thing every time.
yeah.
And they love it every time.
And
I'm like,
in
what the fuck?
2 months, I think 4 million followers in
Bro,
Instagram.
that's
In 2
insane.
months. It's insane.
Like, what the fuck?
So people's life work, they're building this 1 million follower base since 10 years. And then a dude comes in cleaning equipment.
It's funny. It's
in 2
funny.
months, like blows up like crazy.
But like, I get it, but I also don't get it because it's the same thing.
But it's the way he talks and all this shit, right? It's just
No,
funny.
I know it's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny as fuck. But if like every time I click on a video, I know it's gonna be the same thing, but it hits every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I gotta start cleaning equipment and picking up fucking
Yeah.
weights. Apparently,
Yeah.
I almost was about to do one. I was gonna do a parody. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
You should definitely.
But I gotta go somewhere like completely different. I gotta go to like a random gym.
I think because but why his is popping off so much, because he actually kind of really skinny looking when he wears this, and he puts
Yeah.
on the wig, and he has that beard and the way he talks because he's Russian. So it's all just it's just a recipe. That's why I say
course.
some people sometimes are lucky and have a really good recipe for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And also you had a really good recipe with all these things.
Yeah. No, dude, I figured out, like, honestly, I remember telling this story because I didn't know, though, too, like, while I started it, there's no one that I was looking at as like an example of someone who's doing it, because like I was like the first kind of people doing
You've
it.
been the example.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, you've been one of these first people who had really big success with all this. So yeah, I see there's no real, now people can look at, they say, you've been my inspiration. But like there was no one. That's why there's authenticity from your side also. That's good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But that was the thing, right? Like I didn't know that things were gonna like be this thing that we could all like literally make businesses from. I was just doing stuff that like I was actually doing. So the authenticity, like you said, was there. And then, so somewhere along the line, I was like, okay, people like, I knew this based on just like posting. They were like, oh, this guy's like, he's got good abs. And then as soon as he did videos, I remember videos came out and I was like strong. So they were like,
fucking strong.
yeah. So they were like, this guy like looks good and he's strong. I was like, okay, they like that. So I kept just showing more of it because I would see the response, right? And then it started to grow. And then I'm watching Pump and Iron one time. This is a true ass story. This is how I was like, okay, I got it. I'm watching Pump and Iron. This is when right around the first time video comes out. I've seen Pump and Iron prior to this, but I was watching it again just because I liked the movie. So I'm watching it, and video had just come out on Instagram. And I'm watching it, and I remember there's a scene where Arnold he has that thing, you know, he goes like this with that thing, and he has a girl on his shoulder, and there was a girl at his feet. And it's like a quick bit where like he's going like this, and a girl's up here, and the girl's down here on his feet, and he's like doing a shoot for like this product, right? And I was watching it, and I was like, girls. I am going to involve girls. It's going to work. And then like lifting them. And that's when I came with the idea, and I was like, this is it. This is what's going to, and then like it fucking blew the fuck up.
100%. Yeah.
That's when it got different for me. Obviously, I jumped out of the pool. That went viral. But then as soon as I started involving girls, just the visual of it. And it's like, this is not normal to see this. And now it's like every motherfucker on the internet lifts girls, or they're lifting some crazy shit. But it's cool. I get it. Because you see what works and you kind of like recreate it. But I think it's true, like you said about the point of the authenticity. Like I think when you, like you said, you find that little formula, and a lot of times it's because there is some authenticity in it. Because like I think nowadays, because everyone has done everything 1,000 different times in 1,000 different ways, the people who are going to continue to have success and sustain success are going to be the people who like still have that authenticity in what they're doing and how they do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah, because now it's, let's say also it's different. Like 5 years ago, there have been few influencers and stuff, but now every kid wants to be.
Every kid's an influencer.
Everyone is also having now 10,000 followers and something, and everyone wants to get free products, and like no one is just consuming this anymore. You are now like, let's say if I wouldn't have all this, maybe I would have Instagram and I would follow my friends and I would see what my friends are doing and liking this, follow some people like you and me, and that's it. But now everyone is like, no, I need to post, I need to get all these likes, and I need to make something with this, and I also want to be famous. And that's why now everyone also starts to, okay, what can I do? we can do this. I can lift girls. I can drink weird stuff. I can do, like now people are just, that's why the variety is so big now and so many more talents. Also TikTok opened up a whole new world for people.
Oh, yeah.
With they're all like, now if you have a talent in this world, you can make money with this. Yeah. Back in the days, let's say I was a good, what is it called, drummer?
You a good drummer?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, back in the days.
Like back in the days,
if you were a good drummer. I was like, you threw me off. I didn't know you drummed.
You could make music, but now you could just have a YouTube channel and drum and have your like magazines. Back in the days, there was Gold's like Flex magazine. Now you can have your own magazine. There was TV shows. Now I can have my own podcast show and we sit here similar. So that's how it evolved, I believe. So ultimately, more people are just doing the same thing that we've been doing.
Yeah.
But only a few people succeed because of the authenticity and the character. Like you are like, how can I say, you are energetic, you are cool, you have a vibe, you have an aura.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And not everyone has that.
Oh, thank you. What color is my aura?
It's hard. It's not to describe in a color, bro. It's
just
no
color?
You can feel this.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Are you big into like energy and shit or what?
Somehow, yeah. I believe in this. I didn't do much psychedelics though, bro. Like I was not taking tons of like LSD and that's why I'm now like this. No. But I believe in all these things and kind of like aura and like charisma and like, like how.
Well, it's like kind of undeniable, right? Because like it's not even so much like this hippie psychedelic thing, right? I love psychedelics. I love mushrooms. They're great. But the point is like, when you walk into a room and you talk to someone, and you get a vibe, like right away, you could feel that. It's undeniable. This is not even like a really opinion thing. And then, you talk to someone else, you get a different vibe. You get a different feeling, right? Which is why you're drawn to certain people or you're drawn away from certain people.
Yeah.
It's not even just about drugs or anything like that. It's just, that's a real thing that happens.
Also, I believe this is all about this kind of, some people are followers and some people are leaders.
Yeah.
Right. So not everyone. That's also, I watched a lot of like business coaching and stuff. And they say not everyone can be a leader. Some say everyone can be a leader, but also not everyone has the capability of being a leader of a pack. And some people are just more easy to follow rules, accept this, and like be in a smaller scale, kind of like more. I don't know how I can say this. Like they're wasting their potential actually, but for them the life is more easy to just follow along.
Yeah.
While other people say that's not, I'm more than this.
Yeah, I just think there's just certain people that just like, and because here's the reality, right? Like it's okay. Like if someone thinks this style of whatever their life is, if they're accepting it and that's what they want, go for it, right? There's just some people just want more, and just if you're willing to like try to have it, I think those are the people that you'll notice like, oh, they're the ones doing it. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
So, but I think some people just don't want it, or they don't think maybe they think it's not available to them, or they're not going to be able to do it, so they're afraid. I think that there's so many levels to like why people make it or not in like certain things.
How about distractions?
Overall,
yeah,
like for me,
when you grow up, then you have I don't know how about your love life, bro, with girlfriends. How you say women
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What do you think,
bro?
Women can. I believe the problem is these days now women can just fuck you up completely as well.
Bro,
they can ruin your life. Like you have something good going on for yourself, but maybe now you are putting too much time and energy into this woman.
Bro,
like it's for me. I also had to learn all these things.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought it up. Okay. So women, past traumas, like childhood traumas, all these things, it's obviously like all big learning points. Like we'll talk about traumas, right? Like things that you grew up with where some shit fucks you up, and then you make assumptions as to like what it means or how it's affecting your life then. And then if you never fully like address it again, it continues to just like linger throughout your whole life and linger throughout relationships. Like my father taking his life, and my idea of like me being good enough in friendships, in business, in relationships, it would seep through all of those things and affect all of those things, where it's like, it's not that I don't want to be good in certain things. It's like, I didn't allow myself to because of like these preconceived ideas that I created as a child in relationship to my self-worth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's a good thing, right? It's just, this is the reality for people listening, is like trying to address those things the sooner you can, because the more you're going to be able to like really learn the lessons and like shift your perspective so that you can move actually forward effectively. Because that's the thing, right? Like, and we'll talk about women in a second, but everyone has gone through some shit, whether it's like really, really tough or not as tough. It's all perspective, right? We've all gone through something. So it's just a matter of addressing those things, because every single time we go through something the first time, it's the worst, right? And if you make all your decisions and like your assumptions of now of people based on that thing then, and you're not like open enough to allow like, you know, maybe this time you're not going to get fucked over. Like I was always so afraid of opening myself up and opening my heart up to people because I got hurt and because something got taken out of my life that I was like, why did this happen to me? And am I not good enough? And this whole fucked up like relationship to like my self-worth, that it made me afraid to open up to people because I was feel like, I'm not, it's not going to be good enough. I'm not going to be good enough. Right. So I allowed myself to rescind myself, and then ultimately would get the things that I didn't want, which was like this person would leave my life or this friend would leave my life, because like I wasn't able to give enough to have a good relationship because I was afraid. So I was living off of fear because I never went and like addressed those things in my life. Right. So women are a very similar thing to this, right? The same sort of things happen when like you know, because it's all like heart work, stuff inside. Like when you get hurt and emotion, all this stuff is involved. It's very easy to like all the things that, you know, do also really matter for you as an individual, like your work or you know, like your family or your business, things that are outside. It's hard to like put the time and the effort into energy into those things when you're drawn trying to like fix something or mend something or like make something better. But the fucked up thing in all of it is that like certain things, just like as much people don't want to hear this shit, just aren't supposed to work. As much as you want things to work because like you want it to be what you think it can be, the true work needs to be done inside us.
The individual.
Yeah, man, because if you could truly fix it up in here, then you're going to attract what that is. Because we're all reflections of each other. We all attract what we are in that moment. And if we are a dirt bag and you attract a dirt bag, like because you didn't do the work to fix that dirt within yourself, you're going to get taught that same lesson to how to get out of it. So it's with women, it's tough. Like if you haven't done the work to like evolve, you're going to find someone in your life that's going to like kind of push you to evolve. And a lot of times it's going to take your energy away from your business, your friendships, everything else that like you should be focusing on.
Yeah, because now you have some second person in your life and now you have feelings for them. Now you love them.
Yeah.
And they love you too. And so now they are maybe kind of really broken and they have many issues. And now you want to help. And that also trying to like fix someone, right? Yeah. Like there's the problem. Like sometimes women are just so hurt and from all their past and how they grew up and their ex-boyfriend cheated on them and whatever the fuck happened. And now you meet me and you assume every man is the same. And I have to spend so much time and energy kind of like fixing something that's broken. And that all time and energy I don't put into some other things that are maybe, we don't know, more valuable, better for you, smarter to do.
Well, the fucked up thing about what you just said is like, it's not your job or anyone's job to fix someone else, right? Like it's your job to show up the best you can and to like be there for someone. But like, you can't fix someone else. You can't piece someone apart and be like, yo, fix all this stuff. It's like, they got to want to do the work.
That's the point. That's the main point. They want to. They need to understand that I now say, I want it. It's not you that shows me and tells me that's not good and you should change. And you're like, yeah, but like, I see it, I accept it, I realize it, and I understand that it's not good and then I should change for the sake of myself, not because this person.
Yes.
But that's sometimes very difficult. And there's where arguments can come up along and all this stuff. And sometimes also we have the problem that people we meet get all tangled up in a relationship, but maybe this is just not meant to be, like you said. It's just not meant to be. Yeah. And you're using a lot of time and energy to make it work. Ultimately, it doesn't work. Yeah. And then you get cheated on again and stuff.
So then how would you know? How would you know when it's right to make it? Like, how would you know, just from your perspective, when would you know it's right to make it work? Because that's a question, right? A lot of people are going to listen to this and it's like, that's the toughest thing, is to know when is it right.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult to say because it always like, never give up, right? Never give up. Never give up on someone. And it's just, again, this is the picture of like this leash where it's like around your wrist or something. And it's just so, it hurts you more than holding on to it.
Yeah.
And that is probably, there's always some kind of line that you also have to draw. We all have a personal line that we have to draw. If someone steps over it, what are we going to do?
Podcast brought to you by BetterHelp. Check this out, guys. If you're like me and also like a friend of mine and a lot of friends of mine that I know who need help, I know that I'm one of them. BetterHelp's got your back. Really, really simple. Super easy to use. Go to BetterHelp.com. You can find something that works for you specifically. You don't got to drive someplace to find a therapist. Someone can come literally just Zoom, like a Zoom link basically, where you talk through the screen. And I've actually done this successfully for myself. Granted, obviously it's a thing that like it's not like you do it one time and you're one and done. It's something that you have to put in effort, you know, just as much as you're trying to make your body better, you want to make your mind better. And it takes time and it takes energy and it takes effort. So give it a shot. BetterHelp has got your back. If you've ever thought like, yo, maybe I need like not necessarily a second opinion, but you need an unbiased opinion, go to betterhelp.com/RAWTALK. All right, again, so let's go to BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/RAWTALK to get 10% off your first month. Let's get back into this podcast.
We ate a step away. So that's why, a lot of people are then also tangled up in relationships and they can't escape from it. And that's why they also ruin their life or don't get where they want to be, or they don't become the person they want to be because they try to make something work where it eventually also breaks apart. What I just now realize is when you're like, I just turned 30, but we have only so much limited time here.
Yeah.
So we have so many things to learn. And many people, they never learned the most basic things.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't even know how to make a proper relationship work and all this. So the woman stuff, I mean, come back more to the women. This is like, and it can be very exhausting and distracting. And I see now always, like, I look also at billionaires' advice. Like, I look at wealthy people and what can they teach you? And because ultimately they maybe made something better or did something smarter than you in order to become who they are.
Yeah.
And maybe I can learn a thing or two from them. So, and then many times I now saw the partner you chose in your life will affect so much.
Damn.
Like what's going to happen to you. Like the wife you choose will determine whether you go up or down.
Yo, hold on. Tell me why. Your voice is hilarious, but like, why are we on the same side of like fucking wherever you're, like, what platform are you on watching that? What platform? Because where are you seeing those quotes at?
I don't know, like some
Instagram?
shorts from content.
Instagram?
Either Instagram or YouTube.
Why are
shorts.
we on the same side? Because I'm seeing the same shit.
You see that, like, I'm pretty, this is what the billionaire, like something advice kind of stuff, and it comes in. That's why I also say follow things that are maybe helping you to grow.
Yeah.
Don't follow just bullshit and like cars and bitches with their tits out. Maybe you can follow some business advice coaching guys and also like some learner thing or two. But so now, so I don't know. What is your, like, if you mind me asking, what is your situation with this now looking like? Are you have you been in relationships and then later on realized that it wasn't good? Do you want to talk about this? Is also up to you,
bro,
like
I could, dude, I've been through a lot. And you know, a lot that I put myself through. I can definitely say, like, without giving so many details, I've definitely been hurt. I've definitely dealt with the worst. I've definitely hurt people. And like I said earlier, I've just learned that it's just our responsibility, like to really have a genuine, good relationship. We have to be able to do the work. And for a long time, I'll be honest with you, I struggled with doing the work, and it's exactly why the internet. And I'm not saying the internet's at fault. It was my fault. What happened to me was I was very upset with my circumstances in my life growing up. I was upset that, like, I grew up without a father. I was upset that I didn't have things that I saw other people have. I was upset that I felt abandoned. And when I found the gym, it was like, okay, I could avoid all of these problems because when I was in the gym, everything else disappeared and my mind did not think about the things that I didn't have if I wasn't good enough. So I was just like, I love this. I'm going to do this every day. This is way before the internet, way before any of this shit was cool and it was fun to post. I was like, I'm a crazy person because this is the only thing that makes me happy. I want to do this as much as I can, right? Then I start getting into the internet, and this is the crazy thing. I had this, like, I felt like I had to prove something to my father that I was good enough, right? So I'm in a gym, and I'm like, I would use this, like, emotional energy to be strong because I wanted to be like, I know that I'm worthy, right? But I was like trying to prove it to myself in a weird fucked up way. And then the internet came, and this is what fucked me up with relationships and with people. Once the internet started to, like, take hold of my, like, account, we'll say it started to grow, then I had this, like, this inward validation that I was trying to, like, prove to myself. Then it became outward. Then people were saying, you're great because you could do this. You're cool. So I started to get fucked up on the validation, like, and then trying to search for the validation externally. So then I never fully fixed the internal self. I was just like,
oh, I can just get more likes, and like I'm like living off of this high of getting more likes or getting more like validation from people, right? Outside likes, follows, all this stuff, growing. And I made like for like 10 years, that's all I focused on. And it really affected my self-growth. Like when it came to people, right? Because it was just like, oh, well, if this person treated me bad, fuck them. I can get likes on the internet. People like, so I wasn't like consciously saying that, but subconscious was living that way, where then I could just focus on like, oh yeah, you don't like me, whatever. I got followers or I have this. And it was so fucked up, man. And then it got to the point where because of that, I didn't grow the way that I should or could have grown because I wasn't looking inward enough. I was just looking outward to like, where could I get likes? Where could I get validation? And that fucked me up, man. And I think that happens to a lot of people on social now where it's like the same thing. It's like, you're going to find yourself, you know, whether you're like a girl and like all your validation is based on like guys liking your photos and like you look super hot, or like a fitness guy like getting likes and getting love. It's like you just get to a point where like it's gonna stop filling you up. It's gonna stop making you feel like you have purpose if you can't find like that genuine connection to like yourself.
Yeah, that's why ultimately, that's why I always say it would be nicer. For example, you are an artist and you build stuff. Right, we are not building our body, but we are just building like statues, whatever. And then we do work. We do work, for example, a barber, and we do work for other people. And this product, what we do, that gives us this feeling of like we're doing good. You understand? That feeds our ego. It's like the actual work that we do. But here now we're building a body and we're showing an image to outside, which feeds our ego. While we actually not really been creating anything, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm an artist or like a barber, even, this is what I mean of a job. You need to have these little success key moments every day.
Yeah.
Kind of. That's what, if you get these compliments, if you don't get them, you will give them yourself, and all these things. Like small people like to get attention.
Yeah.
So now, if you ultimately have, that's why I would say you want to be the guy behind the scenes. Actually, you would just want to enjoy building this business and having all these social media people doing this wild stuff, because that's also always easy to affect your mental health.
Yeah.
While I'm just in the background pulling the strings and also working hard, which makes me feel good. I'm building something. While social media is very like, what is it called when it's on the surface level, just oberflächlich in German.
You mean superficial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superficial. People, they also see only what you show them.
Oh, okay.
The strong guy and all this, you know, that is again feeds into your ego.
Yeah.
And then if you change something, it also like takes a hit on your personal, on your soul, kind of, I feel like, or like it, how can I say, you feel less good about yourself.
Yeah.
And then you get like, you validate yourself about likes and content. Now you feel less good about yourself. But if the work you are doing, for example, helps people, it still helps people. But now maybe you don't get 1 million likes, you get 100,000. It still has 100,000 people that are maybe affected and get positive influence from this. What you feel like, oh my God, it's so shit now.
Yeah.
So it's
so the truth is, for me, I've evolved into this, at least this content, like this form and this conversation and this stuff that people can like get and learn from this. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, this is what I really love. So I have evolved what I've done, and I like really find a lot of enjoyment in this. And I find a lot of like just fulfillment in overall, and because I like learning about people, I like understanding. So I will say, like, at least for myself, I caught it and was like, okay, this is something that I can like really dive into and get a lot of fulfillment out of. And actually too, when I look back on not my Instagram content for the most part, sometimes here or there I'll post up like a tweet on a story, or like, you know, I'll write a really nice caption or something, but like, you know, I'm not the one to put like, I wouldn't put a quote and just put it on an Instagram because I know it's not going to get as much likes, but I'll write like a nice caption, show, you know, put something good there. But
something deeper than just a post.
Exactly. Just deeper than just like, I look jacked, right? Or some shit, you look shredded, right? So I am really happy of the evolution to like this sort of content.
So I think that what it comes down to is learn and teach and like mentor, and this, like, you know, that's why I think this is such a good thing. We all need to learn. And in the best case, now people, they love you and you are their inspiration. And now you sit down, you talk with people like me about these things, and people have the same issues, they have the same problems, and now they can relate.
We
now
all
they
do.
hear us talking about this, maybe finding some solutions. So I ultimately also, I believe so much in helping people. And like, we are many times weak alone, but if you have one helping hand, you can achieve so much more in your life.
Yeah, it's a fact, man.
So that's why I'm also like, this stuff that you do is awesome here, and it helps a lot of people. And that's what also is my main purpose. I'm not doing this because I'm thinking I'm cool. I'm doing this because I just want to inspire and motivate people with these things that I do. Get to the gym, and also I always say, build yourself. Build a strong character that you can be proud of.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like everything else, like what does it really amount to? Because at some point, the body fades, like successes don't really matter. Someone else with success, and money doesn't really like necessarily mean something. It's very important for people to pay bills, to eat. Like I understand that, right? But you get to a point in your life where if like you start checking all those boxes, where you start to realize, oh, the true thing that really matters is helping people, creating community, like building people up. And then the interesting thing that I look back on now, like as I've done it, was that same exact concept of what really mattered is also why I started to actually have like real financial success. Meaning like I didn't come in on social media being like, I could be a social media influencer, because like we talked earlier, it didn't exist. I came in and I was just doing my life, and I was showing my life. And then what I realized along the way was the thing that really started getting people invested in me as like a person was because all my YouTube content for a long time, yeah, it was fitness related, but typically what I would have done was just like film content, talk about my workouts, and then just talk about my life. And then people were getting invested in that. And I started to realize like, oh, these are the people who are coming back and then buying products and then supporting me and then, you know, like helping me build my business. And I realized like, I was never like, oh, I want to just sell stuff and make money, right? I think a lot of people get into it now where they're like, oh, I want to like be like Joe and I want to like make money and like sell this, sell that, whatever, right? That's why they do it, right? When I did it, I was never like, oh, I'm going to make money because number one, like we talked, it didn't exist.
You just love doing what you do.
Yeah, I was just doing what I do. And then like I started to realize, oh, people are engaging with me because of like the value, because I'm like saying some stuff that they related to, or they got some value out of like the workout content because I taught them how to do a bench press properly or whatever it was. And those are the people coming back and be like, yo, I watched your video. I appreciate you so much. And then they're sending me a DM being like, I bought this. Thank you. You know, and it's like, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm starting to see that like the value given is why the value is given back. And it wasn't just because I was just trying to make money.
Value again. Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I think people should understand now who are like trying to get into the game and trying to be in this whole system or, you know, industry. Don't make it about like what someone else has done, trying to be successful. Try to find like something that really matters to you and like give your version of that and be true to that, because eventually there's going to be enough people who get behind it who are like, oh, I really like this. I like what he's talking about. I like what he's saying. And they want to support you. But like, if you're just trying to make money, people see right through that shit. You know, so
I see that. You know this guy, Alex Hormozy?
He's a gym guy. Yeah, I don't know him personally.
Yeah, but like also he gives very good tips about all this stuff. And ultimately, like all he says also, like if you want to have a huge audience, you need to provide value.
Yeah.
It's like people, they like to get something ultimately also for free. So we have to give value to people. And then it's depending on what is your life's purpose, right? In terms of work, how you make your money. That gives you a good feeling. If I can provide value for these guys and I can make a financial success with this, that's good for me. That's good for my morals, for everything. That's what I believe in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think like people get toxic on the internet when like they're just focused on making just money. And I think that's why, like, you know, I've had like a few like girls on here talking about like OnlyFans and then stopping OnlyFans because like there was no real fulfillment in it because they were just making money. Like the product was just them to make money. And when you don't have like, I think something else outside of that, that's like valuable to people beyond like, you know, in this case, we're talking like sex, valuable beyond that. I think that's when people get burnt out. Like sex aside, like for the fitness stuff, like if I was just coming in and it was always just about like how good I look, you're gonna, as a human, you're gonna, maybe you get some validation, but at some point, like number one, you can't sustain it, right? Because you're never gonna be like the best ever forever. Number two, it's like people get kind of like disengaged with it because it stops meaning as much. But the people always who sustain are always the people who like, you know, sometimes are more likely doing longer format content and they're sharing and they're giving.
What I found with this is like, there's so many people out there, they are so famous and they don't look like nothing. Like there's a singer, he looks like whatever, but he makes good songs. People are very engaged and connected to him and they love his music so much. And they fucking, when they see him, they would like wait 2 hours to take a picture and all this.
Who is this?
Just saying in general,
okay.
Anybody. Like, for example, if you're a music artist or like an actor.
Like Bad Bunny?
No, like more casual.
Okay.
Like, that's why I'm saying I'm more casual, because you are body related, I'm body related, OnlyFans girl, body related, sex, blah, 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 what you do.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're building this audience up that only values you for looking like this,
Yes.
being this way, posting sex tapes, whatever it is, posting shredded videos. But people can love you for who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe for OnlyFans is very unfulfilling, because, again, it's very, what is it called when it's just on the surface?
Superficial.
Superficial.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't even know about this person too much and stuff. And it's, I believe after you do this for a while, the OnlyFans stuff, especially, it fucks with your head.
Yeah.
These women also. And then financial success comes, but also these women didn't learn how to deal with money coming in like this, maybe spending it stupid, and like a lot of pressure on them on top. Maybe then this thing breaks off, and then what? So these days, many risky things where you can make a lot of money real quick and then disappear. That is good for you if you can do that. I'm happy for everyone who can make a bunch of money and then fuck off and live on an island isolated or whatever. You know what I mean? But ultimately, it's if you do something long term and try to sustain it, it has to be fulfilling.
100%. It has to come from the heart. I think it has to be something real. And that's why this stuff I love so much, man. Like the podcast stuff is just so, it's just, there's no way around that. Like we're both sitting here, we're not sitting here flexing, taking our shirts off. Like it's all just about what's actually coming from our hearts.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it's just such a cool platform and so valuable to people, man.
Thank you, by the way, for having me here also, because it gives me in this extent a platform to talk about all these things that we now just did.
Yeah.
Because these are maybe things and opinions of mine that people didn't even know about.
Yeah.
And that makes me maybe more likable or dislikable for some other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I'm glad you came. Fucking incredible. We still got to train together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you
get a
need to do it in
session
your gym, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not that strong, though, bro.
I don't care.
Yeah, I just
Doesn't
see you
matter.
doing this great. The craziest one was probably the hoverboard squat with how much kg on it?
It was probably 315, the one you saw.
No.
Yeah.
How did this thing not break?
The truth is, it did break. It did break. But I just kept going. And it didn't break so much that it broke where it just completely fell. I did it like myself, no weight, barbell, warmed up, 1 plate, did it, 2 plates, did it. And I was like, all right, 3 plates, I'm going to do it. Put it on, and I went down and it went, and
You
it cracked.
did the most risky shit in videos where I'm like, this is gonna dislocate shoulder,
know
break
what's-
your arm. Or
You know what's funny about the thing you just said, the riskiest shit? Before I did that video, Nadeem, my videographer at the time, was like, this is a really bad idea. You shouldn't do it. And I was like, that's exactly why I'm doing it. And then it went viral as fuck. But now I'm not saying everyone should live like that. Obviously, like I could have got seriously hurt. I just didn't. Like, cause I would always do everything. I only got hurt really, really bad once. And it's when I destroyed my mouth. I had like a girl standing on and it fell like, cause I was using.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, because I should have used a metal plate to press her, but I used a rubber plate and it kind of bent. So then it got kicked out. But that was my only real mistake. I got like a real fucking gash here that's like I still feel it like numb today, which was time ago. But all my other stuff, I was very like methodical because I never wanted to get injured. So even with my lifting, I've never gone like 100%. I've always been like 80%. Because like I always wanted to just not fucking get hurt. So I would always load things in a way where it's like, okay, if I can do this, then I go a little bit more till I get to the point where I'm like, okay, that's it.
Makes sense.
That's how I always treated it.
You know, there's always a saying of smart, work hard, or work smart.
Yeah.
I would say always work smart in the first place and then work hard smart.
But you got to work a little stupid sometimes too to do what I did. Where I just really did dumb shit that like I probably shouldn't have, but like I would just be like, okay, like I could, all right, yeah, that works. And I was like, as long as I could do a little, then I was like, if I can do this much, then I can do that much. But it was stupid.
I hear you, yeah, but you're also a very strong dude, you know. Like, how tall are you?
6'3".
6'3".
Yeah.
And in what's your weight like?
I weigh probably 254 right now. No, back then I was like 260, 275.
I remember this.
Yeah, I was fucking
This giant
juicy,
dude.
dude.
I swear to God, that's how I always seen you. Like this giant dude in the gym,
Yeah.
benching like 4 or 5 plates and stuff.
Bro, I was thick. I was thick, man.
The ultimate approach, I believe, what we want to say in the end with this also is stay true yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't sustain a persona that you just build up and pretend. You cannot pretend to be something or someone that you are just not.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, the people will find out.
And that's the thing I think, because like with me, dude, I've been doing this for now so many years.
You've been an OG in the game.
That's why I have sustainability, because like from the very beginning to today, I've been not the same person. I've evolved, but I've always told the truth. I've always been that's who I am. Now, it's so funny too that now I think about this, it's interesting because I've been in so many situations too where like I had been like lied against. I had been told like, oh, you're this, you're that. Like, I can't tell you how many people have come up to me who've like come up in the industry, but like, so-and-so said this about you and then said this about you. And I'm just like, damn, dude, people I've never met would run their mouths about me. People who have never had interaction with me would talk bad about me. I've dealt with that so many times. And I think ultimately it comes with the territory of just like being, number one, like, I guess in an industry at a point where like you're popular. And then also I think being like genuine, like being fucking raw about yourself. And I think it opens you up for a lot of like criticism.
The people that attack you, huh?
And people trying to leverage what they can for their own benefit, which is a very normal thing, which sucks because you got to deal with it. But at the same time, like I would tell everyone, I urge everyone listening, like no matter what, like the truth is, if you be your like true genuine self in all cases, like you will have success. Like if you're really doing a thing because you love it and because it means something to you and you continue to show that over time, like you will have success eventually.
You
like,
just also you have to keep pushing. And
Yeah.
also what I feel with you is you've been here. So I've been kind of like hiding in Thailand. I didn't get in touch so much with all these people and reactions, and some people are nice to you, some not, some love you, some hate you. And ultimately what this all around along your journey, what did is it built a strong character that you are today also, that helped you ultimately, because yeah, you are this guy. I know I'm doing a good job, so you now come up and you don't like me, I don't give a fuck. You get me? So it's just, how can I explain this better? That it's just like, life doesn't get easier, you just get stronger.
it gets you thick skin.
Yeah, that's what I mean, thick skin.
But it still hurts though, you know? So
Sure.
I'm sensitive, dude.
We have feelings,
I'm
man.
fucking sensitive, bro.
If people don't understand that, we also have feelings, and if you might read a message online that says something very untrue and very rude,
my God, man.
that's why people, I say this to people, you think we are influencers, but what you guys texting us might influence us a tiny bit as well. Like you have a big audience. If these people keep talking to you in a certain way, that might influence you in some point.
Yeah, man. You guys stop
So-
being so fucking mean.
Yeah, that's the thing. The toxicity of this fucking community and stuff is, you will have to be really careful these days because, like I say, if a tree is red and it's not blue or green, then you get canceled, right? It's like whatever it is.
Bro, that goes to the thing. If we're gonna end it like that, is like you also just can't make everyone happy.
Exactly. You can
know?
also not give a fuck about everyone else. If you have a vision and you have your morals and you have respect, that's the most important thing. Also, keep respect high to people. Treat people how you want to get treated, and respect. And then keep pushing, because not everyone will be aligned with your vision. And ultimately, if we just also bring it back to the partner thing, find someone that is aligned with your vision.
Yeah.
At least. And then push it together, or just be as one-man army, man. But ultimately, I believe we all need help.
Yeah.
We can take help, and it's better to seek help. It's like always, like if you never ask, the question will always be no.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's key, man. I love that you ended like that. It's like I don't know why we have such a hard time asking for help.
Because we feel weak. It's get you taught that you can't be weak. But ultimately, you could be much better and stronger if you get a tiny bit of help.
Yeah.
Some people are just lost in their situation and stuff. And so I'm talking also to you right now that watches this. If you feel lost and desperate in your situation, there might be someone out there that can listen to you. And even just sometimes talking with someone about some of your past already helps you to process this.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's oftentimes talking about things can help. And it's also never too late. You are never too old, and it's never too fucked. You have always another chance, and you need to keep pushing.
Yeah, it's a fact, man. As long as you're breathing.
Yeah.
I love it.
100%.
I appreciate you coming, man.
Thank you for
Genuinely.
having me, bro. Well, I swear.
Nice full circle. I loved
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, you're fucking awesome. We're gonna train together sometime. You're here for like another month?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll set it up, and genuinely, for real, thank you for coming on, and thank you for showing. Is this one of the first podcasts you've done?
Yeah, it's my biggest podcast I do with you for sure.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing me.
Awesome.
I was wondering if you can spare me one of your gym weed drinks already.
Yeah.
I'm so thirsty actually. And I think, is this your brand?
Yeah, this one here, yeah. Yeah, there you go. That won't get you high.
This one gets you high.
No, it won't get you high.
Won't get you high.
No,
This is
no.
good. but I smoke weed a lot. Now it's outright.
It's all
people
good.
people
It's
will
funny
go
'cause
wild.
The minute I saw you, the minute I met you, I was like, this guy smokes weed.
Yeah.
I knew it, dude.
People think I do like other drugs and a lot of cocaine and shit, but I don't.
People think I do cocaine.
I
bro.
don't fucking touch this shit at all. Like
No, I'm afraid of that shit.
I quit friendships and shit because people would keep taking some stuff, man. And I'm like the mushrooms, yeah, this is one thing.
Mushrooms
because
are
it's
great.
like everything like that is that can naturally. But chemistry, guys, be careful with chemistry that you put in your body.
Yeah, it's too isolated and it can be too much. But thank you, bro. You're a real one.
Shukran, brother.
We're gonna train. It's gonna be good.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe to the channel on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Obviously, hopefully, whichever one you're on, drop a like, drop a good review. I love you guys. We're out of here.